Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct tonight from Black Facts Headquarters Central with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. You know what time it is already. It's 9 o'clock and it's time to rock. You know what you need to do already. You need to go ahead and give us a like if you're looking on Facebook. If you're seeing us on the tube, give us a thumbs up. Don't be a boob. Okay, just give us a little lube as it could be said. A little difficulty there in the orthography. Make a donation. You can do that as well. Don't let your mind go on vacation when you can just as easily make a donation. Do it right there below. You see the link. Do it right now. Don't wait till later. Do it right now and it'll be even greater. Now, let's go ahead and wow. There's a whole bunch of proverbs in there I haven't said done yet. Okay. All right. So, this is one I was going to do last night, but I didn't do. So, the one we're going to do tonight is a healthy ear can stand hearing sick words. A healthy ear can stand hearing sick words. Now that one is one of those you're going to have to work on because I'm not sure even myself how to interpret that one. But a healthy ear can stand hearing sick words, and that's a proverb from Senegal. Continuing on. Let's see where we left off at in our book, March, Book 1. And we are marching on, okay, with John Lewis and the civil rights struggle. Let's make sure we bring this in over here. Boom, there we go. And this is where we left off at. We left off with the students at Fisk and the students in Greensboro, I believe that's North Carolina, protesting, doing sit-ins and boycotts, etc. But they also were doing some similar type activities at Vanderbilt, which is not a black school, but a white school, predominantly white school. But for Vanderbilt, things didn't work out as planned. Instead, dozens of faculty and staff threatened to resign in protest, making national headlines. Oh yeah, that was the school where Jim Lawson worked at, and they wanted to let him go. And so that became a big issue. By the end of the month, we decided we'd waited long enough. So on Friday the 25th, more than 100 of us marched from First Baptist Church to 9 downtown stores. There were no arrests that day, but after Tennessee Governor Buford Ellington saw footage of the day's protest on the national news, he was irate. Looks like his face is turning all red there, even though there's no color on these pages. These sit-ins are instigated by and staged for the convenience of the Columbia broadcast system. So he out and out called it some fake news way back in the day. Boy, it just goes to show how much things have not changed. Don't buy downtown, where it was on emblazoned on the top of some of the flyers they were passing out. Quietly, almost invisibly, within the local churches, a black community boycott of all downtown stores began, what some people called a selective buying campaign. Would everyone in the congregation who has not spent any money downtown please stand up? And it looks like the whole congregation stood up there, and the preacher says, "Hallelujah." Sir, you're the owner of this establishment, says the reporter on TV, interviewing one of the business owners downtown. Can you tell us what business has been like? Oops, wait a minute. Almost forgot. Let me flip this. Flip my script. There we go. Can you tell us what has business been like? You could roll a bowling ball down Church Street and not hit anybody. On April 5th, those empty streets brought an offer from the mayor's committee. It proposed a system of partial integration. Yeah, that's exactly what they said. Partial integration. which in our minds we interpret it as being partial segregation, which is exactly what it was. But it was supported by two black committee members, Fisk President Wright and TSU President W.S. Davis. This felt like betrayal and was more evidence of the differences between our generations. We saw that evidence the next time Thurgood Marshall spoke at Fisk. Look, once you've been arrested, you've made your point. If someone offers to get you out, man, go on and get out. Thurgood Marshall was a good man, but listening to him speak convinced me more than ever that our revolt was as much against the traditional black leadership structure as it was against segregation and discrimination. 5 days after Marshall spoke, we resumed the sit-ins. The next weekend, Easter weekend, a conference organized by Ella Baker of SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, was held at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina. Baker asked Jim Lawson, whose message appealed to the young people listening, to give the keynote speech. The NAACP, otherwise known as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is too conservative. We must tap into our greatest resource, a people no longer the victims of racial evil who can act in a disciplined manner to implement the Constitution. The weekend closed with the creation of a student-run group that would coordinate and organize the entire sit-in movement and whatever lay beyond. That organization became known as the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, which we pronounced SNCC. Okay, I'm going now, Andrew. Will you take, I'm going now. Andrew will take you to the gathering point before going to your seats. Do you have everything? We'll be fine. You stay warm, Bob. You too, Rosa. Let the spirit of history be our guide. And they leave the office. Right then, the phone rings. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. And there's nobody there to answer. And then we flash back to 1960 with a ringing phone. Ring, 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 ring. And it says, students, please be mindful of others who are studying. Thank you. This is a public phone. They would put them in the hallways in the colleges, and you could just pick it up and use it. But typically, those phones, you could only make calls to other students on campus or offices on campus. It wouldn't take, you couldn't get a line off campus. I was on my way out the door to our 6:30 a.m. Nashville Student Movement Central Committee meeting when the phone rang. Hello? Oh, we got to flip the page again. Hello? Boom, 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 boom. Bernard! Ooh, it sounds urgent. Bernard, we got to go. They bombed the Luby's house. Well, at 5:30 a.m., someone threw dynamite at the Luby's house from a passing car. The blast tore off the front of the house, and people are saying it shattered windows a whole block away. What about the Luby's? Are they okay? I think so. It looks like, miraculously, no one was injured. We can't let this intimidate us. We've got to do something, and it's got to be now. If we're to make ourselves heard, we must dramatize the situation, and we have to stand together. Our own government cannot allow this violence. We have to march. Agreed. Let's get the word out to our people and send a telegram to Mayor West. Let him know we're on our way to see him. By noon, thousands of people had gathered at Tennessee State to march on City Hall. And they march, and they march, and they march some more, marching onwards, ever onwards. They get all the way downtown, and someone says, Mayor West, we are outraged at this bombing. How can you allow this sort of behavior in Nashville? It's a miracle no one was killed. Mr. Vivian, he's talking to CT Vivian. Let me say, no, I'll say, this has gone too far. That's what we got to say. Look, and there's the mayor, and he's scratching his head, and he's sweating. Looks like he's sweating bullets. You all have the power to destroy this city, so let's not have any mobs. I will do everything I can to enforce the laws without prejudice. Without prejudice? Y'all still segregating us. What you mean without no prejudice? But I have no power to force restaurant owners to serve people they don't want to. We are all Christians together, so let us pray together. How about eating together? Why don't we do that? Just sit down and have a meal down at Woolworths. I hear they got a nice lunch counter down there. I'm still waiting to get my sandwich. Somebody says, Mayor West, will you use the prestige of your office to appeal to the citizens to stop racial discrimination? I appeal to all citizens to end discrimination, to have no bigotry, no bias, no hatred. Right? Sounds familiar, don't it? We say Black Lives Matter, they say all lives matter. Really? Do you mean that to include lunch counters, Mayor? And what about the bathrooms, Mayor? Does that include the bathrooms? What about the drinking fountains? Are the drinking fountains going to be included in this deal you're talking about? Little lady, I stopped segregation 7 years ago at the airport when I first took office, and there's been no trouble there since. Then, Mayor, do you recommend that the lunch counters be desegregated? Yes, I do. I recommend it. I recommend it. That's up. Oh, yes, that's up to the store managers, of course. Yeah, he says, so yes, he says really loud, and then he whispers, that's up to the store managers, of course. Yeah, he don't have no loudspeaker. You don't even have a microphone to say any of that. To say any of that. Interesting. The next evening, Dr. King. Okay, oops, wait a minute. I gotta go back one. There we go. The next evening, Dr. King arrived to speak. And the headlines are, Integrate Counters, Mayor. And at 3:15 p.m. on May 10, 1960, those 6 downtown Nashville stores served food to black customers for the first time in the city's history. I came to Nashville not to bring inspiration, but to gain inspiration from the great movement that has taken place in this community. No lie can live forever. And then you see black people and white folks eating together down at the lunch counter at Woolworths. Let us not despair as they walk into the Burger Junction. The Burger Junction. Sounds like good, wholesome American food they're eating down there. The universe is with us. Walk together, children, walk together. Ding. Don't get weary. And a couple of them, they're walking into the burger joint and they're being greeted by some of the workers, it looks like there, but them workers don't look happy. Matter of fact, they look downright angry. And this brings us to the end of Book 1. March, Book 1, last segment. So we ended that book, right? And I said I was going to switch to a whole different book. We're going to try to maintain the topic, some kind of relevance here. So I got a couple books I'm thinking about reading. I haven't quite decided which one to read yet, but I'll show them to you. I'll just share them with you. And if you want to make some comments about which one you might want to hear, you let me know. I got one here. Oops. Let me change this here. Transition. There we go. I got one here on a graphic novel about the Black Panther Party. Now, this will really give us another idea of what was going on. This would be after Malcolm X. So, but it's kind of before, during, and after, you know, but it's around that same time. And this was like another generation. These are some of the young people that formed the Black United Students here at Kent State. Okay, so I got that one. Or we could go with Malcolm X on Afro-American history. Now, this is a primer. This is one I read when I was a youth, okay, a mere youth. Malcolm X on Afro-American history. That one would be a pretty good one, too. And maybe I'll just start off with an easy one, okay? This is a new one. I just picked this one up. Unspeakable, the Tulsa Race Massacre. So this will also give you some more insight into what, you know, some of the things that were going on, because this massacre in Tulsa, where 300 black people died and 8,000 people were made homeless during this massacre. It wasn't an insurrection or a riot. This was a massacre, and this was the white community attacking the black community and destroying everything that the black people that worked for over and saved for over the years. So maybe we'll read that one before and then we'll go to either Malcolm X on Afro-American history or the book on the Panthers. So those are some of the choices that we have available right now. And if you all have any suggestions as to other books that would be good for the youth to read, hey, let me know. Send me a message, okay? Somehow I haven't been getting messages really through YouTube. It's like I get these little things and it has a time signature on it, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if that's a video message. I don't know what kind of message that is, but I haven't been getting those. So type the message, you know, go into the chat function, type out a message, or you can do it on Facebook and I get my messages over there. All right, in the meanwhile, let's go ahead and close this session out. All you little children out there, you know what time it is. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and lay your little head on your little pillow, on your little bed. Close those your eyes and wait for that big old sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, oh children of mine. And that's what I want you to do. But in the meanwhile, go ahead and catch some of them Z's right quick while you can, okay? Catch some Z's. All you adults out there, if you please, I need you to do more than just catch some Z's. Before you go ahead and lay yourself down to bed, I'd like you to go ahead, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook, give us a thumbs up if you're seeing us on YouTube, and then go ahead and broadcast to your friends and your family. I've been getting a lot of requests for memberships and a lot of friend requests, etc. And I answer them as fast as I can. As soon as I see them, I try to deal with them. So keep on putting the word out there to your family and your friends. We really do appreciate it. And meanwhile, don't forget, we need some supporting members. Sustaining members, they call them. Sustaining members, where you make a recurring donation. $5 a month for the next 12 months would be a really nice commitment. It's less than $1 a week or a little bit more, whichever. It's right around $1 a week. Okay, if you lost $1 a week, you wouldn't even really notice it. It wouldn't even faze you. Okay, so if you could do that, that would be very helpful in terms of us being able to move forward, because all those books that I just showed you, all these books are new books. We just purchased these books specifically so that we could do this, continue our program here. So these are the kinds of things that we invest the resources in that you've been sending us. That's what we do with them. Okay, we put them directly to use and share them with you for free. What could be better? All right. In the meanwhile, we're going on up to get us something to eat. Peace out without a doubt. We'll be back tomorrow at high noon, continuing on with the autobiography of Malcolm X, talking about the X-Man. And we're including the images as well. So we're not just reading, now we're including the images as well. So tune in, check us out, and hopefully